Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting my sourdough journey. The Great British Baking Show book that I'm working through, this one, Love to Bake, does have a sourdough bread recipe in it, including the starter, which is great because I don't have a sourdough starter. I've never done a sourdough anything before, and that's the theme of this book, but that's just what it is. So to start this, obviously this is going to be a lengthy process. So to start this, I have 150 grams of organic rye flour. I have dark rye flour in here, and 150 grams of strong white bread flour. And I put it in a jar because it says to combine them and store in a airtight box or jar. So I mixed them all up. Okay. Now I am going to take 25 grams of this and put it in this bowl. See if I can get 25 grams. Okay, 25 grams. And then we need to add 25 milliliters of cool water in a glass or ceramic bowl. So I have a ceramic bowl. Okay, so I'm going to add my 25 milliliters of water. Okay, it's not a whole lot of water. It's not a whole lot of flour. And beat to a smooth paste. I have not jumped on the bandwagon of sourdough. I don't know. I've had it before. Tastes fine. I just, I don't know. I don't get it, I guess. I know there's some health benefits and everybody says that. So maybe it says to beat, so I just naturally took a whisk. But now I'm thinking that was a bad idea because a paste is going to get all sorts of stuck in here. Don't use a whisk. Okay, whatever. We'll put the whisk to the side. We'll just use the spoon. So it's supposed to be a smooth paste. I'm not really going to beat it to it, but okay. Well, that's as smooth as it's going to be with the rye flour in there. Okay, now that looks like a tiny amount of stuff. I'm not going to lie. I should have probably used a smaller bowl, but I don't know if this like goes through rising in this bowl. I don't know. So now it just says to cover the bowl loosely with baking paper and secure with a rubber band. Okay. So now I am going to leave this for 24 hours. Just like that, I guess. Just says at room temperature. So I'm going to leave this for 24 hours and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, guys, it's day 2 for my sourdough starter. So I need to take 25 grams of my flour mixture and combine it with 25 milliliters of lukewarm water. So I've got the 25 grams already in my bowl, 25 milliliters of lukewarm water. I'm not a huge fan that it doesn't give me an exact temperature. It just tells me lukewarm. I don't know, it's warm. It's not like hot or anything. So. Okay, and it says again, I just mix it into a smooth paste. So this is going to look identical to yesterday's. And now I add it to my starter from yesterday, which I have not opened yet. Oh, interesting. Look at that. It's colored. It's dark. Okay. So it says to add to the day 1 starter. Okay. And then beat well to combine. Ooh. Oh, that is hard. I don't know how I combine that. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty well combined, if you ask me. All right, now I just cover this back up and set it aside for another 24 hours. Okay, we're on day 3 of my sourdough starter. So the first step is to remove half of my mixture and discard. Okay, it's a very interesting look on it. Just weird. So it just says half, which should be 50 grams. So that's what I'm gonna try. I'm not really sure why we have to get rid of half. Okay, that's 50 grams. So I'm gonna discard that half. Okay, and then what I'm going to add to this is 25 grams more of my flour mixture that I started on day 1, and 25 milliliters more of lukewarm water. Okay, and then it says beat to combine. Again, that crusty part is just kind of weird. Okay, it's combined. And now today I do put it in it says scoop into a lidded glass or ceramic or stoneware jar. So I have a mason jar. Okay. And cover loosely with the lid and set aside. So I'm going to put it in my jar and then cover loosely. So I don't want to tighten the lid on, I guess. So it's all in my jar. I'm just going to put the lid on like that. I'm not even going to turn it. And there's my sourdough starter on day 3. Okay, day 4. We just need to repeat day 3. So I have my starter. Look at that. It's looking pretty good. I need to discard half, so 50 grams. Okay, that's half. So now I should add a further 25 grams of my flour mixture and my 25 milliliters of lukewarm water. Beat to combine, which is a little harder in this glass. Okay, I think that's good. I don't know. All right. It says, it gives you the total weights every day. Like, okay, I discarded 50 grams, so I should be back up to 100 grams for tomorrow. So, I haven't been weighing it to see if that's the case. I hope so. Okay, guys, it is day 5 of my sourdough starter. So today it says to mix 100 grams. So I've got that poured all in here of my flour mixture. Okay, again, that 50-50 rye and bread flour. And mix 100 grams of that with 100 milliliters of lukewarm water. So into a smooth paste. Okay, and no discarding anything today. I'm just supposed to add this to my starter and beat well to combine. Yesterday it was kind of hard to mix all this in my jar, but I don't know. Is this what people call feeding their starter? I do know enough to know that. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, I've had sourdough. That's it. Okay. Everything's all mixed. Now it says cover loosely with the lid and leave for 24 hours. So again, I just put it on there. I don't even twist it. And I'm going to leave it for another 24 hours. Okay, guys, it's day 6 for our starter. Just, trying to smell. There's nothing really, I don't know. Just trying to see if it had any sort of recognition that it was, growing. But anyway, so we're supposed to remove half the starter, just start, which should be 150 grams, it says. Okay. And then 75 grams of my flour mixture and 75 milliliters of water. It doesn't say whether it's lukewarm water. It doesn't say that I'm supposed to mix it and then add it to my starter. I'm just assuming that I'd follow the same pattern I've done on the last 5 days. It's like they got a little lazy on the last day here. It's a little funny. Okay. Again, I'm assuming I cover it and leave it for another 24 hours. I don't know. It doesn't say. It does say by now your starter should be bubbly and active and have a fresh yeasty smell. I don't know that mine is fresh and yeasty. And you can repeat this process for another 6 days, removing half the starter and adding the same amount of water and flour mixture each day. Remember to keep the ratio of flour to water the same at every feed. If the starter is slow to get started after 6 days, feed it twice a day, each feed 12 hours apart. So I don't think mine is active yet. So I'm going to try repeating, going a couple more days with adding the same amount that I take out, I guess. Removing half the starter and adding the same amount of water and flour mixture each day. So I'm going to give that a couple days. Okay, it's day 7, so I'm doing extra than what the book said because I do not think my starter is active. I did have to go ahead and add some more to my flour mixture, so I added an extra 100 grams of bread flour and 100 grams of my rye flour and just mixed it up because I was running really low on that. So I'm just going to repeat day 6 basically until it gets active, which is removing half of my starter and adding that amount back into the mix. So equal parts water and flour. So let me start with removing about 150 grams. My problem is that I didn't necessarily weigh my jar before I started, so I don't know if I for sure have half coming out each time. So that's annoying. It's also like negative 15 for the highs here right now. So we're in a bit of a cold snap. And I knew that going in that was probably going to slow my starter process. I was very aware that temperature and weather have a lot to do with this. So I'm not a complete dummy. This is just the time I have to do it. And it is what it is. Again, I knew it was going to be a thing. I just didn't know how much of a thing. So we'll see. Again, this is my first process of doing a starter. Okay, so I removed 100 grams of my starter. Now I'm going to add 50 milliliters of warm water to 50 grams of my flour mixture. Okay, and now I'm going to add this to my starter and then mix it a little bit so it gets in there. The descriptor that I am looking for is the bubbly, because I don't really know what a fresh yeasty smell is, because it says your starter should be bubbly and active and have a fresh yeasty smell. I mean, I make enough bread where I know what like bread smells like, but I don't know if I would, I don't know. So I'm waiting for the bubbly part is what I'm really looking for. And I haven't seen that yet. It does get humid looking in the jar after I do this. I'm assuming that's good because you want it to be active. Anyway, so I am going to try this again. Put my lid back on again. I just put the lid on and I don't even twist it, and then let it sit for another 24 hours and hopefully that does it. Day 8. I wanted to clean up my jar a little bit, so I took all my starter out of my jar just so I could clean that up and weigh my starter. I wanted to see where I was at. I'm only at about 170 grams of my starter, so I'm not discarding anything today. I'm just adding to it because I'm supposed to have 300 grams. So I'm doing 75 grams of my flour with 75 milliliters of my water. And I'm just going to mix that all together and put it back in my jar. I've got everything kind of freshly cleaned up a little bit. It was really bugging me, all of the stuff on the sides of the jar. So, and I wanted to see how heavy my jar was so I could, better gauge all that. So here we go. Okay, here we go. Day 9. It's alive. So it's definitely double in size and is very much an active yeast, active starter at this point. So I'm ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it one more time tonight so that I am ready to start making my sourdough bread tomorrow morning. So I'm going to remove half my starter, which when I cleaned my jar, I was able to weigh everything and figure out, look at that. That I am on par. I have 300 grams of starter to work with. So I'm going to remove 150 grams
of that. So there's 150 grams out of the way. I do have 75 grams of my flour mixture already set, and I'm going to mix it with 75 milliliters of water. All right, so I'm just going to give this a little bit of a stir. Okay, and now I'm going to add it to my starter so that I have fuel for my bread tomorrow. Now, the recipe that I'm going to use out of my Great British Baking Show Love to Bake cookbook does say to feed this at night so that the starter is at its peak of activeness, or whatever the phrasing was. I have it on the wrong page right now to read you the exact description. But yes, it says to feed it at night so that I am ready to go first thing in the morning, and my starter should be at peak. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it took me about, I think this is day 10, to get to a very much active starter. So be patient. Yeah, that's all I got for you, because I have never made sourdough, so this is a first. I will be making sourdough bread on my next video, so make sure you like and subscribe so that you can see that when it is ready to go. So there's my starter. I'm going to let it percolate overnight. And I hope to see you next time when I make the bread itself. But anyways, make sure you like and subscribe, and then I will see you next week.